Having consumed hours of game dev videos during this situation, I decided to learn a bit of game development myself. I chose to support one of the content creators I was watching by buying his course that I have put a link somewhere. And after 2 days, I had more or less clear how to build a basic FPS in Godot or Godot something like that. So I started to write a draft of my game, like this one, with the concepts, mechanics, and different objects that the game is going to have. The first thing to do was to implement the movement of the player. After copy-pasting it entirely from the FPS course, like you can see here, I started coding something myself and I implemented the main mechanic of the game. It is the incredible movement, and this is the mechanic, so you basically can pull and push, and that's all. And yeah, also you can go and try to pick some things like this rock and pull it and push it and pull it. Moving objects around and platforming was already fun. That's something you're supposed to try when making the main character mechanic. The movement itself has to be enjoyable. The concept is to keep the abilities of the player very constrained. You can move, pull or push, while the environment holds the complexity of the game, with the different objects providing different interactions when pulled or pushed. For example, this rock that you can pick, and this other platform, floating platform and zero gravity stuff that you can move around but you can pick. And yeah, also I have trees that I guess you can shake, but I don't really know what to do with them right now. After that, I wrote this outline feature using an outline mesh for the rock. You can see this green outline when you try to interact with it. And also the
Godot particle system.
Yeah, I don't think the meme was like that. But yeah, I use the Godot particle system to call this other outline for the square, I guess. And the UI tells you if the player can interact with the object or if it's too heavy, like the ground, that is obviously too heavy, or this tree that I still didn't know what to do about them. The main character, the one controlled by the player, was going to be obviously a hand. With the core mechanic in place, I had to learn 3D modeling in Blender, which was, without a doubt, the most time-consuming part of these 2 weeks. But luckily, there is this guy called Infancia that had videos that I could follow step by step. So I decided to use a low poly setup because I think it was easier, but I really didn't know what I was talking about, nor what low poly really meant. And well, it turned out to mean low polygons, like low poly, low polygon. So they are easier models, like these trees on the hand, because they have less polygons, so they're less realistic. But yeah, anyways, that was very clarifying. And then I did this hand in Blender, which has a really weird thumb, and the goblin. That was my first full-fledged model, and well, it definitely had some issues, but I'm more or less satisfied with it. Then I went with the animations, like you can see the goblin walking here, or the goblin attacking here, that I obviously copied again from Infancia and his tutorials. It turned out that exporting models into Godot was a 1 hour learning odyssey. And well, I learned how to install plugins, like the one you can see here, like Better Collab and Godot Engine, that didn't work at all. And then I went with this GLTF format that I didn't know about and tried different parameters, and it ended up working in Godot, but yeah, I don't know why. I saw in a GDC conference that you're supposed to add
Pizzazz.
early in development. Well,
Pizzazz.
it's the same thing as Juice, which is the same thing as
Godot particle system.
which is the same thing as add effects that makes it look cooler or sound cooler. So I use Audacity to record some sounds with the book, and also I added some shaders. For those who don't know, a shader is a piece of text that you copy from the internet and then paste into your project to make it look better, like here. And then when you load your project, you're going to have fallen leaves from the trees. And also there's some rain effect that I don't know if it's activated. Well, whatever. Yeah, fallen leaves. And that was my first 2 weeks of game development. If you think about it, the only things I did was this and this. At the time of recording, after 4 weeks of game development, there is already a prototype on itch.io that you can play if you want.